Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. We are back with a brand new review for Ready to Love Season 7, Episode 9. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade and a whole lot of detail. If you're back for a second or third time, then welcome back. Y'all, please don't hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Share with a friend. Hit that notification bell so that you will be updated each and every time I upload a video. Now, child, let's get into it if we gonna get into it. When the episode first opens up, all the men meet at the gentleman's church lounge. Okay, they're all there. The gang's all here. Tommy said, Blake, you got 9 lives. And child, he better send production a gift basket. Because that's the reason why he got 9 lives and they ain't fooling me. So Tommy tells them to introduce their ladies to their best friends. And if she can't get along with the friend, then she doesn't have staying power. I beg to differ. I don't agree with that. Your friend's approval has nothing to do with the longevity of my relationship. Like, your friend might not like me because your friend might like me. Okay, y'all? If you know, you know. Child, please. Anywho, he feels like a close friend can see things that they can't. Now, I do agree with that because, like, your friend can see things from unbiased eyes. Like, they can look at them and be like, girl, something ain't right. And you may or may not listen, but they can see it. So he told them to go ahead, introduce the ladies to their best friends and see what I was doing. In the next scene, Andre invited his best friend, Jermaine, to meet Cynthia and Jeffrey. Question. I just have a question for y'all. Do y'all think these are their actual houses? Every time I see it, it just looks so staged. I don't know what it is, but do you think these are their actual homes? Anywho, comment down below. So Cynthia arrives first, right? And she was like, Andre can really bet on me. I'm the one that he would want. And let me just say this to you, Cynthia. I'm speaking directly to you, honey. I would not even entertain Andre after that meeting with your children's father. I would not. The fact that he just up and said, I may not even be interested next week. That spoke volumes to me. So, you're here because you're taping, but child, me, I would be neither here nor there. That's just a side note. So then Jeffrey and her chipmunk voice, they show up. Hey, girl. Oh, child, this is a fool. They sit down. So his friend asked about the family life because even though Andre doesn't have kids, kids get really attached to him. Yeah, because they share similar hairstyles. It's given a wash and go for a little bitto baby. So, of course, they get attached to him. But anywho, Cynthia said, a man who loves kids is a plus for her because, she has children. And she's like, I have 2. So if he want to have kids, I can give him 2 and a dog, but I can't do no more than that. Baby sis said throw in the dog because these 2's tied after that too. Child, I know that's right. So then Jeffrey was like, I really protect my children. And I could really see him being the lead in their lives. It's giving Janet, Miss Jackson if you're nasty. Okay, I'm going to leave Jeffrey alone. I'm going to leave her alone. I'm going to leave her in a Michael Jackson voice alone. I'm going to leave her alone. Anywho, I was just looking for bubbles, child. But anywho, so his friend asked what they could see themselves bringing to Andre. And Cynthia says she's bringing love and protection, especially of his emotions. Baby, his friend really liked that. He was like, let me lay down. Protect my emotions, honey. So Jeffrey said, she's a woman of God and she devotes herself to God. And they connected not only physically, but internally. So he asked how their other connections compare and contrast to Andre. And Cynthia said, well, they both are providers and I love that they have solid foundations. I really cannot compare the two. Jeffrey, on the other hand, she was like, they're totally different, like night and day. I'm going with what feels right. I usually have a list and I want this, that, and this and but I'm just going to do me. And I'm going where my discernment takes me. Now, when I hear them answering these questions, first of all, this feels like an interview. I don't know what it is, child, but I feel like Jeffrey was just trying to top Cynthia's answers. Like it was giving, I want to win. That's what it was given to me. It didn't seem like it flowed naturally. So when they left, Andre asked about how his friend liked them. And he was like, Jeffrey seems like she actually goes to church and she practices her faith. And so he said Cynthia answered better than he thought she was going to answer. So then Andre going to say, it's like Cynthia answered so quickly and assertively. And it really bothered me because when it's like coming off the tip of your tongue, I feel like it's rehearsed. Andre, cut the crap. I see right through you, bro. I see right through you. You're finding fault in her because of your meeting with her ex. That's what this all about. Okay, you need to try something else, honey, because you can't fool me. See, this is why I would not have shown up. You have a problem with Mercedes not checking on you, but when Cynthia actually was excited that you came back, excited about your return, and saying that she's willing to protect you and that tendril, now she's rehearsed. Sir, go to hell respectfully. So the friend was looking at him like, and say, what now? Baby, that friend was looking at him like, what are you talking about? He said, I would choose Cynthia. Like, what are you talking about, Andre? You ain't talking about nothing. Moving forward. In the next scene, Mark Anthony meets up with Mark and brought his best friend as his truth teller, and Mercedes and Jeffrey, they show up. So his friend asks, how do you guys resolve issues when you're having a heated argument? So Jeffrey, of course, was, giving her fake answers, child. And Mercedes said, look, I'm not going to go to bed mad, but I may need a moment to calm down because I don't want to say something that I might regret. So I'm going to need to just take a moment and then we can talk about it. So he asked them, what are the red flags that you see about yourself? Jeffrey was like, that I overthink. That's not a red flag. That's a trait that you have that you need to work on. So every overthinker is a red flag? Like what? And Mercedes was like, yeah, my red flag is I just need to come out of homie mode and just show him the domestic side of me. Why? Has he shown you his domestic side? Has he shown you his manly side? And how is being his friend a red flag? Did they understand the question, or am I misunderstanding the question? Are these red flags to y'all? Because overthinking is not a red flag to me. And being a homie lover friend, that's not a red flag to me. So, I don't know, y'all. So Mark asked them, why isn't he the only one? Why do y'all have number 1s, 2s, and 3s? Mercedes was like, don't ask me. Okay, he had me at hello. Jeffrey said, there's no 1, 2, and 3. She just feels like because he wouldn't normally date a single mother, she's trying to take her time with it. Now, I personally do not know if I would even waste time with Mark Anthony because he isn't ready for all that Jeffrey comes with. And we don't even know what she comes with because half of it is hidden. We don't know who the men are. She don't have no exes. There's no sign of life. It just don't make sense to me. Something is not right. She's hiding something. She's not telling everything. And she's hiding behind that little baby voice. And it just can't be trusted, child. So his friend thinks that he would be better suited with Mercedes because the conversation just flowed better. Don't nobody like Jeffrey for their friends. Child, he didn't choose Jeffrey and neither did Andre's friend. Moving forward. I have to say I agree with his friend. He and Mercedes are better suited for each other. So I don't even know why we playing this game. In the next scene, Lyndon invites Morgan to meet his best friend, Troy. And before she got there, he was telling him about the Nair situation. Okay, so Troy was asking when she got there if she has any other connections. And she was like, well, I was at 3, but now I'm at 2. So he said, why? She said, well, Lyndon's 5-year plan, it kind of worries me. And I'm ready to get married now. Well, child, Lyndon ain't it. He gets offended when a woman wants him to not have a roommate. Okay, everybody was getting on, what was her name? Everybody was getting on Corvea because she didn't want a man with a roommate. She didn't want a man laying head to foot, honey. She didn't want to have to cross over y'all's air mattress to get to the PlayStation room. She didn't want it. Okay, and then everybody was like, yeah, she was leading with the wallet. But at the same time, at this age, baby, no thank you. And you think he's about to be ready to be married in 2 years and he's still splitting the rent? Girl, I ain't got time to play with you. So Troy asked, when was her last relationship? And she said 5 years ago. He was like, is this the person with the Nair story? Because he told me. She was like, you can ask about it. It was a beautiful plan. I looked it up to make sure I wouldn't go to jail. He said, well, why did you do, when? Why? She said, I did it when I knew I was done and I wanted to make a grand exit. Morgan is legit insane. She describes it as a beautiful plan. That's somebody you can't even sleep around. Honey, it's giving sleeping with the enemy. I wouldn't even trust her to cook my food or bring me a plate. Don't bring me nothing, especially when you mad. Listen, all jokes aside, you don't want to be in a relationship with someone like that because they're planning your demise and they're also searching in the incognito tab how to get away with it, how to get away with murder. It's shout out to Elise Keaton. Honey, it just don't make no sense. So I really wouldn't want to deal with Morgan. Now, she is being honest about her crazy up front, but at her big grown age, her being so proud of it and not seeing it as toxic is the bigger problem. Come on now, we got to really think about this. She thinks that it's cute. Now, in your 20s, you might act up. Okay, act up. You can get smacked up. You know, we've all done some things. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like I'm perfect, honey. But I was 19 years old. Child, I didn't know no better. But today's date, child, I wish I would sit and scan and grin. It was a beautiful plan. And I checked to make sure I wouldn't go to jail. That's crazy. Okay? Like, that's just crazy. That doesn't make any sense. So Morgan's like, I would never do that to you, baby. Girl, you over there smiling? Girl, that is nuts. Anywho, so she's getting ready to leave. And she's like, I'm just not too concerned about it. I mean, I feel like it went well. It wasn't too bad. Okay. So when she leaves, Troy's like, her and that grand exit, that's a red flag. Lyndon is like, I mean, is it a small one? He said, no, it's the size of a football field. Honey, it's giving Super Bowl. Okay, it's giving Super Bowl Sunday. Absolutely not, honey. I'm happy that he's keeping it real with Lyndon and not letting Morgan's looks deter him. Because you know how some people are like, oh, well, she fine though. She can ball me. She can scalp me. She fine. Like, some people are that immature. So I'm happy that he's looking past her looks and it's like, dude, that is a red flag. Jeffrey, Mercedes, that is a red flag. Moving forward. In the next scene, Blake invited Susu to meet his blue-eyed friend, LaShawn. Child, Ready to Love got another contact wear. Karma. Y'all remember when Carmen, y'all remember when Carmen was wearing blue contacts, child? So anywho, Sue-Ann came in wearing a red flag. I said, child, what is this top you have on, honey? She is meeting Blake though. So child, wear your red flag and come on in and sit down. Over on the other side, Morgan and Marcia are meeting Tony and his friend, Antron. So Morgan walks in and she's like, you know, I'm a little bit upset that I have to sit here with a woman that wants my man. It's a little bit unsettling. Morgan, it's the nature of the show. Child, Tony better be glad he didn't have any women friends, because if he did, this whole screen might have faded to black. Child, it would have been a whole fool. Back over with LaShawn and Susu. LaShawn is asking where does Susu see herself in 5 years. She says she wants to be married. But I don't think Blake is looking for marriage. Like, he seems like a forever bachelor. I don't know. I guess it's him explaining the children and been there, done that, got the t-shirt. That mentality doesn't scream he wants to be my husband in 5 years. I don't know, child. She wants to know how she has Blake's back. She basically said, girl, I done saved him over and over and over. They been wanting him gone. Okay, and if it wasn't for me, he would not be here. Over with Eminem and Tony, his friend asked if they wanted kids. And Marcia said, you know, she wants them, but she wants a man that will be there to nurture her through it. Let me tell you something, Marcia, that is super important. When I say super important, you can have the pregnancy from hell. If you have a supportive partner, you will feel like it's almost bliss. Or you can have a smooth pregnancy and the partner from hell, and then it's the pregnancy from hell. So that's very important to have someone that's going to be there for you during and after. It's very important. Morgan said, you know, she doesn't have any kids, but she's helped raise a few. Back over with LaShawn, she's asking Susu how long she's been divorced, and Sue-Ann said 2 years. And she's like, yeah, this is going to be my first intentional relationship after being divorced. So for his friend, that was kind of like, you're jumping into this relationship after being divorced. She's been divorced for 2 years. It's not like she met Blake once she signed the papers and walked out of the gas station after getting some gas leaving the courthouse. It's been 2 years. Back over with Tron and Tony. Tron asked about their 5-year plan. Marcia said, I do want to be married. Morgan is like, I have a 2-year plan. Wife me, please. He said, well, how do you plan to get that? Child, by forcing him. But let's see what she had to say. She said, I just want somebody who's on a similar path as me. You know, and I was just thinking, how you want to rush to the altar when you haven't even been in love before? Something about these stories and all of this stuff is not making sense. You weren't in a relationship with this man, but you felt like he cheated, so you nared his hair. You want to be married in 2 years, but you've never been in love. What are you talking about? It's not, the math is not mathing for me. So he asked if she thought Tony was on that path, and she was like, I mean, I like that he's a man's man, but he's a man's man to a fault, because I'm a strong woman. And, you know, he say he like my mouth, but I mean, I don't know. Back over with Sue-Ann, she's asking about the blending families. And Sue-Ann feels like Blake will be a decent girl dad because he has boys and she has girls. Honey, it's going to be a full-on Brady Bunch. It's going to be a ready-made family. Just add water. And back over with Tron. He feels like Marcia had the best answers, but Morgan was all about Tony. He's like, man, this is tough. It ain't tough. You wanted him to say Morgan. I can just tell you did, because he was like, so you feel like Morgan had the better answers? He was like, no, Marcia has the better answers. That's who you want to be with, so just go with that and stop wasting Marcia's time. Back over with old blockhead Blake. His friend feels like her divorce would be her bringing baggage, but I mean, it's worth exploring. Ma'am, and again, it's been 2 years. Blake and his 3 children with 3 different women aren't a cause for pause, but her divorce is? Okay. In the next scene, Anthony brought his friend Miriam, who's a married lady. He brought her to take a gander at the girls that he's interested in. Miriam, honey, let me just say that wig is laid, honey. It is laid. I said Miriam's hair is so nice. So he invited Cynthia to one date and Mercedes and Sue-Ann to another. Child, you see how he grouped Sue-Ann in there with Mercedes? Cynthia got her own separate date. Mercedes and Sue-Ann, just get together and come on, child. So at the date with Mercedes, she's asking if Mercedes wants kids. And she was like, I'm not sure what life is going to bring. I don't know if I'm going to be a dog mom. I do want kids. I don't know if I'm going to adopt. I don't know if I'll just be with someone who has kids. Child, I don't know. Okay, I just don't know. Soon as Sue-Ann walks in, she sit down talking about, I don't know where, he stands with me. Like, I feel dumb with him being my number 2. And I don't even know if he likes me for real because he hasn't said it to me. He's like, I like you. Anthony, you are not interested in Sue-Ann, and she knows that. That's why she keeps repeating this over and over again. You ain't fooling her. You do not like that woman like this. Anthony was like, I feel like she's not letting the past go. I have been being more vocal ever since she brought it to my attention. Yeah, but you don't really just like her like that. So Miriam is asking Cynthia about her kids over at their date, and she told her that she has 2 children. And so Miriam asked about their father. So Cynthia was like, well, I've known him since I was 12, but we have not been in a relationship since 2014. And he would never be a nuisance to what I have going on now because I know how to put my foot down. You sure? Because, baby, I feel like he is a menace to society. Like, I would not say that he would not be a nuisance. He gonna be all in that thing. You can just tell. Baby James does not play. Back over with Sue-Ann, Miriam was like, well, do you have kids? She said, yeah, I have 2 girls. And I was like, really? Let me tell you something. I don't know if I have not been paying attention. I don't know if I didn't know. I did not know that she had 2 children. I had no idea. I don't know nothing about this cast. When I say nothing sticks, nothing sticks. Oh my gosh. So Mercedes said, she's a little apprehensive about going forward with Anthony because he comes with a lot and she has to be sure that she's ready for all of that responsibility. And I think that that's a great thing to think about, because just because you like someone doesn't mean they're a fit for you. Because if y'all get together and then they have all of this and you're not used to that, that's going to be a problem. So I'm glad she's thinking about that. Moving forward. So after they leave, Miriam said with Mercedes, she's clear, she's honest with what she can give and what she can't give. And she feels like Anthony might get mad when she's not giving what he wants. With Sue-Ann, she's like, she don't even know if you like her. She feels like Cynthia is the best choice. I think she's the best choice as well. Really, we can end it right here. Here we go. The couples are Jeffrey and Andre, Cynthia and Anthony, Mercedes and Mark Anthony, Sue-Ann and Blake, Tony and Morgan. Marcia, your man is not here. Let's cut to the theme song. So it took me some time. Y'all know that's what I come for every season. I don't care about nothing else, honey. Can we play the theme song and can we get the hell on to the reunion? Because that's where the real tea comes from. Okay, all of this, child, we can let this go. In the next scene, all the men meet at the church lounge. And Tommy's asking about, the meeting with the friends. So he asked Andre first. And Andre said the friend gravitated to Cynthia, but he didn't feel like Cynthia was being real. And again, I would not have wanted him after he told her ex that he may not be interested in her next week. Cynthia, did you forget that? Child, I wish I would. Mark Anthony said he invited his friend Mark and he chose Mercedes, but he liked both of them. Blake said his friend LaShawn came and she felt like Sue-Ann, just being divorced is kind of a red flag. And Tommy was like, why is that? He said, because of the battle wounds. Did that lady say she had any wounds? I don't remember her saying she was wounded at all. And Blake, if that ain't the pot calling the kettle, calling the pot calling the kettle. Boy, goodbye. So Lyndon said his friend Troy felt like Morgan was a walking red flag. She is shy, down to the red lipstick. Tony said Antoine, which is his friend, or Antron, felt that Marcia was the one for him, but he feels a stronger connection with Morgan. Yeah, you want that toxic love. Y'all gonna be fucking and fighting all up and through that house until she bleaches all your satin shirts, and then you gotta call 911 on her, and then y'all gonna be on the shade room. Leave Morgan where she is and let Marcia go, okay? Because y'all just wasting her time, child. So Tommy asks who's not ready to love. So Blake said Cynthia, Tony said Jeffrey, Andre said Mercedes and Suanne, Lyndon said Suanne, Anthony, and Mark Anthony said Marcia. Oh, okay, so my girl Marcia going home, honey. Because, yeah, she going home. So Tommy tells them, listen, take the ladies out for the eliminate, but I have a surprise for y'all. They was like, oh, not a surprise. Because, every time Tommy has a surprise, it's some foolishness. But it was actually, them going to the retreat where they all get together and sleep under one roof and sleep with each other. But they think they fooling us and they ain't fooling us. Moving forward. In the next scene, Anthony meets Suanne for the eliminate. Across town, Marcia is meeting with Mark Anthony. So she's like, I'm kind of nervous because I don't have a romantic connection with Mark Anthony. So I already know why I'm here. So he trying to make small talk. Sir, just get to it. Across town, Anthony is talking to Suanne, small talk as well. Back with Mark Anthony, he tells Marcia that her name came up in the meeting at the Gentleman's Lounge. It's like she's friendly. And it's just like, it's nothing more than that. She's too friendly. But he feels like, they all feel like she may be putting herself in the friend zone. What is wrong with being a friend to your partner? How is that a grounds for elimination? You're friendly. I don't like it. That's nuts. Okay, but this is the world that we live in when it comes to dating. They don't want you to be funny. They don't want you to have a personality. They want you to come with a BBL, a tight lip, and a good lace front. That's it. Because if you got any kind of substance, or if you can be anything other than a sexual partner, it's like they don't want that. That's crazy. She's friendly? Okay. So Mark Anthony tells Marcia after spending time with the men, they decided Marcia is not ready to love. She took it gracefully like I knew that she would. Marcia, like I said, honey, I'm speaking directly to you because I know you be down in the comments sometime and whatnot. Your man is not there. Now, although I am going to miss your ensembles each week, girl, go and find you somebody that's worth it. Okay, because these ain't. Suanne is still ready to love, and that's only because Blake needs somebody to talk to, and production needs Blake to stay because they think he gonna continue to get into it as he get into it, and he ain't brought nothing since episode 1. And that was the end of the episode. Y'all comment down below and tell me exactly what y'all thought about this episode. Again, the couples are Tony and Morgan, Jeffrey and Andre, Cynthia and Anthony, Mercedes and Mark Anthony, and Susu and Blockhead Blake. We can wrap this thing up. I will catch y'all on the next one. And as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.